with that, I am going to say welcome back to another episode of Single Dad, Why You Mad? So I'm beginning to wonder now, can you be in a relationship just living apart and still be considered a single parent because you're not like living with the person, but let's just say, you know, you guys are still seeing each other. Does that still qualify as a single parent? That's probably something we should circle back to. And maybe that's something we should take a survey on to see if the people who follow and the people who listen, let's see what they think about it.
Let's do that. Let's throw it out on the IG. Let's throw it out on the YouTube, and let's throw it out on Twitter and see what people have to say.
I think the question, the real question is, if you are living apart from your co-parent, but you guys are still in a relationship or still actively smashing, for lack of a better word.
See, and that's what I was going to ask for clarification, because you could have two people who are actively smashing. We will never, ever be together. And we just happen to have this kid.
Oh, okay.
So we have to phrase this question properly when we ask it.
We need to phrase the question properly. Absolutely.
Right.
So speaking of drinking, or why somebody would want to drink, right? We have a special guest here today who's going to teach all of us something, I hope. I'm expecting it. This episode is part of our single mom's perspective. But what's special about this, right, is that at some point, I expect that when my kid turns 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, the latest.
Dying in the background.
22, the latest, that he is going to go to that one-bedroom apartment I have on hold for him. And he will go out on his own to never return except Thanksgiving, New Year's, and to visit me in the nursing home if and when I ever get. That's my hope, right? But the word on the street is the empty nester is a myth.
That the light at the end of the tunnel is a train.
It's the light at the end of the tunnel is a train coming barreling down on you. We're going to talk to somebody today who can shed some light on that for us. Clark, do you want to ask the founding question?
So, how the fuck did you get here?
Hi, thank you for having me tonight. My name is Patty. I am a single mom of two. My son is 35. My daughter is 22.
Right at the age I was talking. No, God damn it. Go ahead. Son of a bitch.
18 when I got pregnant, 19 when I had him, 20 when I married his dad, 22 when we divorced.
A 2-year marriage.
Yes. After, let's see. So when I got divorced because of an affair that I had.
Oh, okay. Thank you for the honesty. Go ahead.
Yeah. Felt tremendous guilt. Couldn't live with myself. Couldn't fit. He wanted to stay together, and all I could think of was every time I walked out the door, he was going to worry about who I was seeing, who I was talking to. Was I cheating on him?
So then let me tell you what a sexist pig I am. So when you said the affair, why would I naturally assume that it was the guy? You were the one that was doing the visits. What about child support? Were you paying child support?
I was mandated by court to pay child support.
So I have yet to come across that dynamic where somebody that I could be dating would need to come in contact with my son's mom, or somebody that she could be dating would come in contact with me. That hasn't happened yet. How about you, Clark? Has that happened for you?
Yeah, it absolutely has. In our situation, my ex has had serious boyfriends since we split, and they've met my kids, and they've been in the presence of my kids, and there's times our paths would cross. I would say one dude I got along with famously, we met and we hit it off, and it was like, oh, hey, good luck, and we could sit down and have a conversation with each other. We could sit down and have a drink. The other dude, we did not get along, and it was more so me going, oh, this is his behavior. I'm not going to be in the same space with him.
But what is the feeling like about you being okay with this person being around your kids?
You know what? First off, I'm not a controlling dude. That's just not my nature. And I've never really been a jealous dude. You're an adult, and at some point as an adult, you're going to seek out a relationship. You're going to seek out companionship. That's fine. My kids know who their father is. I don't have that fear that a lot of dads do, where it's like, oh my gosh, he has this other dude around my kids and he's going to be parenting my kids. or my kids are going to be calling him dad. That never entered my head. And while they can find appreciation for their relationship with that person, especially if that person is doing right by them and being a good role model and support system for them, which both of these dudes in their ways were, there was never a situation where I had to be like, yo, tell this dude something, I'm gonna have to come over there. Like it was never any of that.
Wait, so hold on 1 second. Miles is calling me from the other room. So you won't believe this, right? You know what he wanted to tell me?
What's that?
He forgot to brush his teeth. So I'm saying to him, okay, dude, well, I'm going to let you, right? What about horrible dad? I'm going to let you slide this time. You ain't got to, Miles, I told you I'm working. I got to brush my teeth. So I take him into the bathroom. He's in there right now brushing his teeth. I'm going to be back in 1 minute.
Listen, I've absolutely gone through years of that.
That's
I gotta brush my teeth. I need a glass of water. I need another hug.
Yeah.
Daddy, you didn't give us kisses.
Get your toy and let's go.
It's like I did not sign up for this.
Hurry up.
I was telling Patty, like I remember those days. I didn't have dessert after dinner.
I ain't never told my parents, "Oh, I forgot to brush my teeth." That was Come here, come over here. Did you brush your teeth?
Mhm.
Everything's good now?
Mhm.
Okay.
Got your toys?
Hi, Miles.
Mhm.
All right. Say single dad, why you mad?
Single dad, why you mad?
My man.
In the bed. Go.
Good night.
Night, Miles.
You gonna say good night? No? No?
Nope.
He's a curmudgeon.
I guess here's where I'm going with this. He wanted to take her. Now I'm breastfeeding. She's maybe a week old, 2 weeks old. He wants to take her and show her off to his family. Not me with her. And I said no. They're very welcome to come to my house and see their granddaughter, their niece. Bring your son over, bring whoever you want here to the house, but I'm sorry you're not taking her at 2 weeks old while I'm breastfeeding. I don't think he came back for 5 months. Is that being unreasonable?
I always say not everybody's grind is the same grind. So here you are in a situation where you've had a baby with this man. You got pregnant with this man. 5 months into your pregnancy, he takes off, he disappears with no explanation or no warning. He's now living with his ex-wife.
Correct.
He wasn't supportive during the course of your pregnancy. He was not around during the delivery. Granted, you said he had to work, so maybe he had to pick up and leave and go to work.
He did come back.
He came back during the delivery. After 3 hours. Okay. But once your daughter shows up, then he leaves the hospital. He doesn't bring you home. Did he not have a mode of transportation? Like, was he like, a dude who was taking the bus or?
No.
Unable?
He
had a vehicle. He had the ability to bring you and Alex home from the hospital. He didn't have the desire,
Correct.
right? And then he shows up a couple of weeks into your daughter being here on the planet and going, hey, give me the kid, let me take her for a ride. And this is me being 110%. Like, I don't know if I'd feel comfortable. Because, like, granted, you don't have to be in a relationship with your co-parent, but you have to communicate. You're not showing me that you're somebody that I feel like I can trust with my kid. And I'm saying that from a dad standpoint. Like, if it was a mom who just, like, had the baby and was like, here, and took off. Yeah, but, give me the baby. I'm going to go for a ride with the kid. Nah, fuck you.
Yeah, the first...
I would that motherfucker shit.
That was, like, in the early years. Like, when she was able to talk and whatever, he was like that uncle that came and went. He'd come by. He'd come over, play with her for an hour or two, and then not come back for 6 months. And expect her to call him dad and be like, daddy, and put her arms around him and hug him and want to be with him. And she didn't even know who he was. Could I just throw in one thing that's always weighed heavy on my heart is he's got a son, an older son, who he was always very much in his life.
Mm-hmm.
Went to all of his sporting events, went all through school. He did everything with his son. I found out I was having a girl, and this has never been said out loud by him. I found out I was having a girl, and he was gone the next week. He has since had another child, who is now 6 or 7 years old and is a boy, and he is in that boy's life and is with him all the time.
So I hear what you're saying, right? You think it has something to do with girls and versus boys, right?
I-
And I can't speak for him, but I'm going to say for me, I would love to have a little girl. I
There's,
would love to have a little princess.
I
And,
know.
you know, Clark is looking at a screw face right now because he said, you think they're gonna
You
be
know,
princesses.
and it's not Screwface, it's me taking it all in.
You think they're going to be princesses until
Oh,
they
listen,
get their claws in you.
dude, I say to people all the time, like, my struggle is trying to turn these 3 fang-bearing she-demons into proper young ladies. Like, that's my hustle. Like, it's unfathomable to me to know that I have a little person out there that I created that I don't business with. Like, I can't imagine.
Yeah. Say that again, Clark. Say that again.
Like, to have somebody that I created, somebody that I had some part in bringing into this world, and I don't business with. But this was something we talked about on the absentee father thing and the absentee father episode. And I think pride has a certain amount to do with it, where a dude fucks up and doesn't know how to step back from that mistake and say, yo, I fucked up. How do I do better going forward? Is what we refer to in Trinidad as wrong and strong, right? Like, I messed up, but my pride won't allow me to address it, so I'm gonna just double down on that wrong. So that's the only thing that I can see, you know, in addition to one of the things that, like, as a single guy who's been out there dating and coming across, you know, women who have significant others who just pick up and leave and don't business with the kids anymore, very often guys will see their children as an extension of the mother who had. And if I don't fuck with your mother, I don't fuck with you.
So, Clark, God bless you for being nice, right? I come at it from a little bit different perspective, right? But you know, on the same thing, I think we're both, what Clark is saying is that we're both built like this, right? Where, you know, I can't see myself having somebody who is a part of me, who is a representation of me out there on these streets, and I'm not involved in molding that person. But mine's is a bit more, you know, hostile, right? I love my mother. God bless her soul, she's gone. I love my mother. But I don't trust my mother to raise my kid by herself without me having something to do with it 50% of the time. I just don't. I don't trust nobody. I don't want nobody having 100% influence on my kid without me being involved at least 50% of the time. I don't trust nobody to do that. I want to have something to say about how this person walks, about how they talk, about how they interact with other people, about what they think, about what they don't think, about who they trust and who they should not trust, and their goals and aspirations in life. I don't trust anybody to be fully 100% responsible for that. I need to be at the very least 50% involved. And God damn it, if you're going to give me 75 to 100% involvement in that, I'll take that too.
Yeah.
Because I don't trust nobody. But, you know, I'm fucked up. I'm fucked up in the head.
And we're on a tangent here, but our minds don't work like that. Like, it's completely foreign to us. But in doing the dissection, right, and saying, well, anecdotally and observationally, why do dudes get on some shit like that, where they just don't business with their kids, or they have different subsets of kids thrown around the place, and they hang out with some kids and they don't hang out with others. I mean, and I've met dudes who have, you know, I grew up with dudes who have like 14 kids floating around. Some of the kids they go see, and some of the kids they hang out with. Other kids, you know, they're like, oh, well, their mother got them, and, you know, I haven't seen him in years. I don't know what's going on with my kid. And they're cool with it. You know, I'm just not built like that. It doesn't sit well with me.
So it's you, Alex, Alex's boyfriend, and Alex is pregnant.
And there's her boyfriend has a son also who is here now with us.
So
So
You want to do the
y'all
count
are
again,
Cos-
David?
No, y'all are the Cosbys. No, y'all are the Cosbys, right? Because that's exactly what the fuck happened. I remember that episode, right? Cliff was like, "Who's this?" And she here, and what was the dude who was in the Navy or whatever his name was? He's there, and then his daughter was there, and then he left to go away, and the daughter stayed with. Yeah, y'all are the Cosbys.